to Home Depot.
Fucking
Who's
also a veteran.
Got me a rake.
Is very articulate and sensible, and a woman.
Something to like kill a tree.
Didn't get into sod or any of those things.
And I was thinking about it. I was like, well, I need to get somebody to pick up all the shingles. And I went over there this morning. And I was like, man, I don't want to do all that shit.
She had some very promising ideas. I didn't know about.
I think my chick went to go get her nephews or something.
Apologize for believing in conversion therapy. For
the garage is done.
The what?
Am I crazy?
The garage.
Is that real?
I'm almost positive.
Oh, you did it.
Real.
Okay, let's check it out. Let's see what you did over here.
Like
when you
a
say
center
therapy,
for gay
See what you did over here.
No,
I'm gonna make one more text.
Never heard that. I did hear something about when she was very young. She was like 22. She
doesn't
said
take too
something
much
about
space.
gay marriage and civil union.
One behemoth? Nice. Oh, wow. What the hell is that? That's pretty snazzy, dude. So we have how many
And then we
slots?
can place jump pads here. Oh, we can fit 6 tech skiffs here. Because the top floor, we can split it in half just for garage purposes. I left a little bit extra room at the bottom floor because of the slant. But yeah, we can fit 6 skiffs in here total. Here, I'm gonna put some jump pads down so we can jump up to the different floors.
Unions that she apologized for and said that she evolved.
And
She
we can
revealed she met
demo the
Assad
wall
in
in the
Syria
middle.
without
I just put it
informing
there.
top
I'm
Democrats.
telling you, she's.
She said she went on
So
a
you look
fact-finding mission in
symmetrical,
support
cool
of
looking.
peace for Syrian people
Oh, it
who
looks cool.
characterize U.S.-backed rebels as
Legit.
terrorists.
Yeah, she's. I mean,
I can keep looking, but I just.
I'm telling you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can come back on when I
Okay,
know
but
more.
let's we can do this another time.
Okay.
But who do you think stands out for you as someone that would make a good president?
Yeah, she once touted working for an anti-gay group that backed conversion therapy. Anyway.
She once touted working for an anti.
Set up some jump pads.
God damn it! What the fuck is going on with my connection?
She worked for an anti-gay group.
She worked for them, like she had a job there.
Your connection.
You know, I'm worried as a person who's been called alt-right adjacent.
I'm just looking
No.
around.
about labels.
it's
No, I
the wrong
understand.
way.
But you know what I mean?
Rep. Tulsi Gabbard in the early 2000s touted working for her father's anti-gay organization, which mobilized to pass a measure against same-sex marriage in Hawaii and promoted controversial conversion therapy. Yeah. FYI.
It really, it's almost like we're dealing with crude tools. Like we're trying to perform surgery with hatchets. Like fuck, man. Like,
yeah, there is-
how do you get to
but-
those people and have that discussion with all those people?
But this is, I mean, in terms of there being too much to talk about and cover,
Oh, it's so
that's where I
crooked
do
still.
think
How
that
do I
things
make
like the New York Times can make a real contribution. Because we, like, there are adults
there
in the
it
room
is.
deciding what
how
the
I gotta
important
get on
news
that.
is that you should pay attention to.
Yes.
In theory, at least.
Well, no, I wholeheartedly
And, like,
agree.
You know, you're going to learn about the
did my
genocide
gig
of the
say?
Uyghur Muslims in the New York
One
Times.
of
Like, if
them
you
did,
really
I-
read the New
I
York
thought it
Times
was
every
3
day,
for some
you're going to
reason,
know
and
a
I
lot
was
about
like,
the
wait,
world,
what?
and you're going to understand
There was
that
4,
the
right?
government
4
shutdown
total.
is a
I think
bigger
there was
deal
3.
than what happened in the
No, I guess there was 4, man.
If you're just trolling through Twitter,
Okay.
which is how
When you
like,
showed me,
every
I saw
person
3,
know,
and then
or
I was
Twitter
like,
or
what
Snapchat or
the? One of
whatever.
them
Like,
died.
my
And
youngest
yeah, I guess there
sister.
was
Okay,
4.
yeah, there was 4. There's one.
You're not going to necessarily know
One
that.
probably was hiding because
That's a real problem.
Yeah, they're kind of.
It is.
I don't know
they're
how
all
to solve it.
they freaked out when
Other
that
than
one
tell
died.
people
So.
to subscribe to
But I just filled them
newspapers
up.
which still have some standards and which still,
Yeah, that was
when
my
you make a
VI.
mistake,
I thought it was
correct the
3.
mistake.
I end up killing 2 at least myself. So.
Yeah.
I work
At least he was
one of those.
745
You
million.
definitely
He
do.
wasn't
I
a good.
look,
He wasn't a
I
7.
said
They're
something
all-
about someone
they're
from
all-
the New York Times
the
online
fuck?
After an article.
They're all,
they wrote
745.
about a fight.
Oh,
It was
alright.
a boxing match between Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. Where
I
Conor
saw it.
it was a great fight. Floyd Mayweather
Setting up
schooled
this
him.
jump pads.
But the end, it said that Conor McGregor's face
Jump
was
pad, go.
swollen
What the-
and bleeding, and he was knocked through the ropes.
Whoa.
And I said, you can't say that, because everybody saw the fight. That didn't happen. In this crazy time where everybody is crying out for fake news, you can't say his face was covered in blood when there was no blood. You can't say that. Like, don't do that.
Was it corrected?
It was corrected, which
There
is
you
so
go.
rare.
But it's actually not like we correct things
Yes.
all the time.
Right. But how do you stop it from happening in the first place?
It's
how do you
really
stop that
hard.
first one?
Well, no, the first one is really hard. I mean, it's
Blood?
No.
Blood when it doesn't
no,
exist?
No. When I'm saying it's really hard, what I mean is journalists just shouldn't make mistakes like that.
Right.
But we do. The difference with the New York Times and any number of these other places is that we say we made a mistake and we correct.
Well, it's hyperbole.
That matters.
Right?
Yeah, it's purple
just,
prose. It's like
right.
someone getting ahead of themselves, having a little too much fun. I don't remember that article.
Well, it wasn't. I don't necessarily think it's getting ahead. I mean, it's fiction. They applied fiction to an actual sport event, which I thought was bizarre. But
they corrected it.
They did correct it. Well, here's what's important. What's important is you can at least get a better version of the facts there than you can anywhere else.
Yes, and I guess there's some people in the new media landscape that I see, and I don't know if it's because they want to sort of gin up their own audiences or what, like nihilistically getting on, like using Trumpist language to describe the press. What they don't see, I think what they don't understand is that the loss of trust in the press is a symptom of the loss of trust in lots of public institutions. The WHO, the World Health Organization, just came out with this terrifying report where like one of the top 10 threats to health in, I think, the country, we should look this up, is people who aren't getting vaccines. People who think vaccines cause autism and are not getting vaccines. The stakes of like loss of trust in public institutions doesn't just mean like you're gonna like hurt the New York Times bottom line. It's like a threat to all of our health, like quite literally.
Right.
I see these things as being very, very connected. So when I see people gleefully celebrating like the fake news of the New York Times, I'm like, do you have a better alternative right now? That's what I'm thinking. Not you, but
no, I agree.
I don't understand why anyone would celebrate that.
I think it falls into what we're
like
talking
another
about before,
top
that
area.
it's an easily digestible ideology that you can just subscribe to. It's a conglomeration of preformed opinions, and you lock in and you start saying fake news. And it's exacerbated by this situation that we find ourselves in where people aren't really buying newspapers anymore. You have to get people to subscribe. I subscribe to several on my phone and on my computer, and that's how I digest things now, or an iPad. When you think about what they have to do to get those clicks, and you see these weird, look, this is not a knock on Forbes. I think Forbes is an excellent periodical. They're great. And really important stuff. But almost every month, they will write this super clickbaity thing about cell phones. Like, it comes with a nasty surprise. The new Galaxy S10 has a nasty surprise, and it's so unimaginative.
Is it always nasty?
Yes. Look, see if you can find how many nasty surprise articles about iPhones and iPads.
I've seen about video games and stuff a lot too. They have like a contributor network that people are just allowed to write articles on. And how they allow that.
Like, remember Huffington Post used to have that too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that fucking stuff is so dangerous, because as soon as people lose their trust that you are unbiased and you're giving them an objective perspective on exactly what's going on, as soon as it might be nothing when it comes to Galaxy S10s or whatever the fuck they're talking about. This has a nasty surprise, but it flavors your perspective on news.
Of course it does.
And these people are fighting for their life. Journalists and people and contributors to these websites and newspapers are fighting for their life because everything is dropping off. The revenues are down. And then like, what takes their place? What takes their place? Bloggers? Who's looking at them? You sure that they have journalistic ethics and standards that are like what we would expect from?
They don't.
They don't. Right. They don't have to. And this brings you to the Infowars thing, right?
Yeah, I've just been thinking about that.
If he's a journalist.
No, he's definitely not a journalist.
But
There's not a question about that.
This is what people are fighting about. This is the whole shebang. Like, if some of that news that you're getting in these traditional venues is fake, it is dangerous. If any of it is clickbaity, if any of it is deceptive,
I could not agree with you more.
It's fucking dangerous.
Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and to really illustrate the amount of media manipulation going on around right now during
Boom, the garage.
COVID-19 and the fact that you couldn't protest the lockdown, but now we've had protests going on for a month around the country that have basically disproven their hoax of social distancing and masks, yet there are still some protests they don't want to mention even under their breath. And I'm going to illustrate that as I show you what the search results are on this, because I'm going to be honest, I missed it. The protest we're going to be talking about actually took place last Saturday, and if you're taking a look behind me, a gentleman is in a We Are Change t-shirt. Shout out to We Are Change. Shout out to those in attendance of this. And they weren't protesting the lockdown. Nope. They weren't protesting Black Lives Matter. No. They were protesting mandatory vaccinations in my state that may become a reality and have been highly unreported in the media, especially right here. And why is that problematic? Because Cuomo is Mr.
I'm gonna put more gigas on aggressive down here.
Media puts him out as some kind of darling with his vaudeville act with his brother Chris.
Yes.
He's anything but. You have to remember, this is a guy that by executive order took away religious exemptions for school children on vaccinations. After massive protests. And he still did it. And now they want the same thing for adults. Guys, I mean, it is here. The New York State Bar has recommended mandatory COVID-19 84 vaccine for everybody in my state. And as you guys know, I am trying to get out of here. I am trying to leave, so I need your support now more than ever. Fully demonetized on this platform. Really need as much financial support as I can get to get out before a second wave hits, or a second lockdown, or mandatory vaccinations take place in my state. And this is no joke, not a joke. So, local media covered it. Times Union covered it. You're gonna see a local NBC piece right here. And remember, they're not gonna tell you that people dare say they don't want this thing, because at the highest levels, and I'm not talking about U.S. government levels, I'm talking about at the highest predator class levels, this is something they have wanted to globally institute for some time. And the more they can tell you what to do with your body, the more they know their authority can reign over you, and that you are a subservient slave class. So thumbs this video up, subscribe and share. Let's see the coverage here, guys.
Hundreds of people rallying in Albany Saturday morning, sending messages to Governor Cuomo and the New York State Bar Association. They say they are fighting for the freedom to choose and the right to refuse a COVID-19 vaccine once they are made available.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, the idea that they think they can make this mandatory for adults shows you how arrogant the people in New York State are and how arrogant Cuomo is. He's already told you Michael Bloomberg is here for his contact tracing force. Apparently they're off to a slow start with only 3,000 snitches. I mean workers. The contact tracers. Okay? But it doesn't stop there. We'll just reimagine education with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Hell, we let them reimagine food with genetically, and we let them reimagine any places. Hence this vaccine that might be mandatory. But let's let them do the school thing too. Then you got good old billionaire Eric Schmidt, huh? The new digital age, reshaping the future of people, nations, and businesses, huh? But he'll be reshaping smart cities.
These dudes taming microraptors.
So authoritarian billionaires under Cuomo, and they want mandatory vaccines for almost 20
looking through the
million
that's mine.
people.
Now, many doctors believe vaccines save
The stuff from the
lives.
106?
Others feel differently.
Yeah.
I am very much
And
against
microraptors up in there.
forced vaccination.
Hundreds of protesters, including
They're
friends
okay,
and
but
families, rallied outside the
okay.
executive mansion in Albany,
And without uniting, we are going to be weak.
waving flags and their homemade signs.
We will not be a lab rat for anyone, any company, any vaccine company. Governor Cuomo, we refuse.
Let me just stop you here. Where was this in the national media? Nowhere. Nowhere. Can anybody show me one national show, whether it be on MSNBC, Fox News, CNN, that covered this? Any. I missed it. I missed this protest. Okay? That's how complicit the national media is. It's disturbing, it's disgusting, this is a real issue. These people already lost to this man via the religious exemptions. Cuomo just basically laughed in your face and said, well, you could just homeschool your kids. And then the state did anyway. That's the harsh reality. But when I talk about a gangster class, man, this is it.
Random.
Personally, not against all
right.
vaccines ever. I just think that there's a lot we don't know about vaccines.
They shared several messages.
I take care of many children and adults who are vaccine injured. My brother was paralyzed from receiving a flu shot. My family has a really bad history of vaccine injuries themselves.
Freedom of choice should be mandatory. Absolutely. When they can mandate injections into your body for something that now statistically has a mortality rate of 0.1% in most cases, at the most, if you wanted to give it 0.3 or 4, depending. And remember, it dissipated rather rapidly. They're talking about not like this is the next wave of the first wave. There isn't a second wave. You know, supposedly it's exploding in Florida. Well, show me the numbers on how many young people or people without comorbidities or people that aren't in nursing homes are dying. And then show me the numbers of the people that are infected that get the proper vitamin D, vitamin C, and steroid treatments or antibiotic shots that other doctors have talked about that have a problem with this and they're even hospitalized.
All right, I got my magma. If you're
Your
ready.
medical martial law doesn't want treatments that work and are readily available and already out there. And that's even scarier.
In late May, the health law section of the New York State Bar Association in this 89-page report recommended a mandatory COVID-19 vaccine for all residents, unless a doctor exempts you. This morning, the governing body met virtually and tabled that finding for...
Look at that. Look at that. They tabled that finding. Mandatory vaccinations are supported by the authority of the state police power when the vaccinations are necessary to protect the health of the community. Constitutional challenges under the Religious Freedom Clause of the First Amendment
Hell yeah.
And are under the Substantive Due
That
Process
medal.
Clause of the Fourth Amendment.
Teleporting us to our own QSE like a pro.
Think about that. When the individual's interests are not strong enough to outweigh the public benefit. Collectivism, anybody? Authoritarianism, anybody? I mean, this is what they put on paper for my state. I'll say it again, I need out.
for further study until November.
We're America. Like, our whole founding principle is choice, and I just want to keep the choice.
Mom Suzanne Timbrook shared the story of
I
her
wanted
son.
to do drops
He
so we
was
can get more
perfectly
behemoth
normal
games.
up until he got the
For free.
MMR, and they, you know, he wasn't born autistic. And I do agree that you're born with autism, but what we have now is autistic spectrum disorder.
You think they'll end up
And
banning one of the
they can't
tribes?
define it because it's not,
Yeah,
you weren't
something's
born with
gonna
autism, but
happen.
suddenly you're exhibiting all
Someone
of the
reported
behaviors
somebody.
and mannerisms.
He's doing well, but this mother of 6
We're
has
in
no
trouble.
interest in a COVID vaccine.
And I'm ready to retire early and quit my job and take my kids. They won't get this one.
And again, national media, did they touch this? Did you see
Oops.
anything about this
I knocked
anywhere?
you up.
Bueller. You know, I'm going to type it in live. Let's do it.
Knocked you up good.
Albany Let's see. Oh, sorry guys. Albany, New York, vaccine protest. Okay, we got one. We got two. Okay, we covered those two, right? All right. And then we got all the way to January, September, January. Let's go to the news section of good old Google. Remember, Google's founder, Eric Schmidt. He's one of those great billionaires that's going to reimagine my state. Okay. Okay. Article telling you about it 2 weeks ago. That's the Albany Times-Union one I talked about. Okay, that's the one we just covered. Hudson Valley did it. And okay, that's it. That's it. No national media whatsoever touched this. Nobody.
Yeah, I think it's back to normal.
Nobody. Mandatory vaccinations for 19 plus million people against something that apparently has a death rate of 0.1%. And if treated properly, doesn't even, I mean, if not treated properly, a lot of people just sat there. Remember they were telling you if you had the antibodies, you're going to be okay, but the facts aren't facts, so Cuomo can just continuously change everything. It's scary, man. You know, we gotta fight against this. Absolutely. So thumbs the video up, subscribe and share. If you can donate 5, 10, 15 bucks, big donors need you now more than ever. Okay? And please go check out the playlist section here, especially the documentaries section right above my head where you can watch Shade the Motion Picture, Loose Change Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, and Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, all for free. Shade and Invisible Empire, so important right now. Remember to check me out on Rockfin tomorrow at noon. As every Tuesday, I do a free live stream that is exclusive to Rockfin.
Right
so you
there.
can sign up over at Rockfin right now. You don't have to pay anything.
It's just staring.
You know, you don't premium stuff.
I don't think it's a wild one. They don't just sit there stare at you.
The convo couch is there.
Some random Bob thing on RG
Jimmy
probably
Door's there.
left it
Ben
there.
Askren. It's a really great platform, and if you are premium,
Oh, it's
you'll also
playing,
be able to
huh?
get
Yeah, it was a
check out
while.
Kingpin. Told the Truth, my exclusive
Just
video
wanted to
from
stare at
yesterday.
you.
But
He's paying
free
respect.
live stream, exclusive to
Yeah.
Rockfin tomorrow. Sign up, tune in, doesn't cost you a dime. Follow me on Minds as well, where I'm posting content. And guys, I just want to say, we got to push back on this un-American technopoly, the predator class.
I want to bring the magma in the
and especially the
pool
medical
over there.
martial law.
Another friend
They are
or
trying
something.
to
Damn it, I
institute
did it.
onto
And do what?
every human being.
Another friend, because the magma is
Oh,
the wild one.
Yeah.
I need to chill.
Yep. It needs more buddies. That'd be cool if they put like a random bus in the middle of the lava here and there.
Hello everybody, and thank you for tuning into the Liberty Report. With me today, Daniel
Like
McKenna,
one that only
co-host.
pops out during the volcano while it's blowing up.
I want to wish you happy Monday, Dr. Paul, and I also want to say hi to all of our live followers, especially our super chatters to keep us going. We're happy to see you this Monday
So
morning.
you gotta like kill it with magma, shoot
But
it.
one of these days, we're going to need to, because there are things rumbling around the world, and we've been concentrating on the most immediate crisis that the American people are
And then
facing,
you
of
should
course,
drop
is,
some element
coronaviruses and
and
the economy
random
and all
crappy
this,
loot.
but there are still some hot spots around the world, and people are stirring up trouble and wanting to start a war.
Shit.
So far,
I don't even know where I dropped it. Oh, I hit you with the
at least on the
spike.
surface, we hear that Trump is trying to bring troops home rather than sending more over. But then again, what we have to wait for is what really happened. But we do, and I think we'll continue to watch it very carefully. But for now, we're going to concentrate on the things that we think the American people are most concerned about right now. Still, coronaviruses and our personal liberty. And this is a big deal. And getting the truth is a big deal too, to find out what's really going on. And there's an interesting article by the leader of the opposition to sanity, and that's Fauci. You know, Dr. Fauci has all of a sudden been ordained as the spokesman for coronavirus, but could it be that he might be losing some of his authority? There's reason to suspect that this might be happening, that it's not gospel, everything he says. Because the article that we're going to look at here is Fauci. Some Americans, this is Fauci's talking, Some Americans have an inconceivable distrust for authority. And my first comment was, thank goodness. But you know, which authority is he talking about? You know, scientific authority, data authority? No, his authority. That's all it. And he does complain about, you know, people don't want to believe the science. They don't want to believe our numbers. They're not scared as much as they used to be. They want to open up.
We can build some pops, upgrade our pops.
It can't be the case. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on. The people who are still spouting off this propaganda. But Fauci looks a little bit disappointed, and he wants to define the truth, whether it's science or statistical analysis. And he wants to keep the people scared, and he thinks that automatically the American people say that we have to obey authority. And you know, proper authority is one thing. Some people have moral authority, some people have parental authority, but that's not what they're talking about.
We're gonna be done here, right?
Canned authority.
Possibly. Hold on one second.
Who speaks for this? Who speaks for foreign
Yeah, I
policy?
think so.
And when we have to send kids off to fight wars that make no sense, who are the authoritarians? Of course, I think that's what life is all about: is seeking out the truth. And governments generally have not been good at that.
Yeah, just 3 more rows.
From the very beginning of history, there's been lots of problems with, you know, the authoritarians who want to run things and believe they have a God-given right to be the authority, and yet the whole principle of liberty is challenging that. Authority and morality is something that is very personal and can't be dictated to, because sometimes they mess it up. And I, of course, what we have done on this program is try to point out when they really do mess up on pretending that they know what the answer is. They know exactly what to do when there's a bad virus out there. And of course, my conclusion of this really has been around for a long time, but I think they should be out of this
putting a pop right here
They
too.
shouldn't even be in this business of
Right here.
healthcare and scaring people and
Right
managing
on
things.
the outskirts.
And controlling this completely.
The dude Pablito was
Yes,
bitching that there was,
I think it is conceivable.
The plant species?
yeah, the plant species.
People distrust authority, and we want to help make sure that they distrust the authority.
We can build a metal box there and then
You know, the fake
call it a
authority.
base,
There's way
and
too
then
much.
they're
The
not
bigger
allowed
the
to
government,
be.
the more fake authority there is.
Says
Because
so on the rules.
All big government has to.
It says if
they
your
have
base
to
is
deal with,
your base
fake
located
authority.
at a spawn point or a teleporter,
Run the
then
economy,
it's an exception.
tell people how to live,
Where's
tell
that at?
how they can survive.
In the
the rules.
105 rules, or?
No, in the rules of art,
Mm.
in the code of conduct.
I thought you couldn't build at a spawn point, though.
You can't unless your base is at a spawn point. Like you can't just put a random file with turrets. But if you have like just a box with like a smithy and a fridge, you know, like a base, something that can be called a base, it's okay. So all you needed there is like one little house with feeding troughs, you know, and a tech gen and with a bunch of turrets, and you can call it a base. And we can even block off like the whole area with
Other people rise to the top.
you know, around
Got
to
leave for a while last week.
call it a base, and then one can spawn an SC. So one spawns in.
Who now you see all over the news. He's cited on all the news channels. And in fact, he was
And they're
on,
probably gonna get mad at first in 105 chat, but I mean, it is what it is, you know.
major outbreak is
That's our
underway.
base. Just don't spawn on that spot because it's our base. You know, what do you need to spawn in Southeast for anyways? You know, like.
We're having a major outbreak underway, and there is no question about it. They may be past the point that they can control this with simple interventions, like trying to get more people to wear masks and being mindful of social interactions. We may have to start closing businesses down again. It sounds terrifying, but back to square one. The interesting thing about Gottlieb, you never see when he's on TV making these scary predictions. I see jump straight from the FDA, as we talked about last week, to big pharma, where he's making a ton of money. And if this coronavirus thing fades away like we see in the numbers we're looking at, his company is stand to lose some money. Not to suggest there's anything untoward about his alarmism, though.
Right, and as this has been diminishing in effect and generating all the fear that they want, and then they start talking about, well, there might be a second wave, there might be a second wave. Well, the second wave evidently is awfully close.
Oh, my black box?
And then they report the statistics.
Oh, I'm black box.
But they have to be a little careful.
Nice.
When they get out
I'm like, why can I grab stuff?
This one headline here.
Just had a bunch of crap in my inventory.
Confirmation that it's here, and you better not open up the economy yet. It says nearly 9 million infected, as WHO says, outbreak. Still accelerating, it's still going up. We know for sure, obviously, following the largest daily jump live updates. So,
well,
once again,
I mean, that sucks that we can't go to stuff on other servers.
Headlines, and then when you go and look at the facts, probably one of the most
Ready?
important things is how sick are the people? How many people? What are the odds?
Yeah, you can cry the. What do you got left?
Shitload of metal.
Oh yeah, you're good now. Yeah.
Categories. Even just recently, there were some reports of people.
All the forges are full.
They happen to be people who had other illnesses, and they're still reporting.
I'm like, damn, still more metal.
In general, people in nursing homes, and we know that's different, but they never say the same thing and say, well,
Metal City.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to keep kids out of sun and not playing baseball and not going to school, but they work very hard. If they see that coming, if the gouges of the world see this is coming, then they feel challenged and yet godly. I can't imagine that we should say, well, at least we've got somebody new and he'll probably straighten this out and give us only honest scientific evidence.
Well, the fact is, two things you won't see. First of all, they really did turn nursing homes into concentration camps. That should be all the headlines. No one's really talking about it. That's a big deal. I think. That's half of the deaths in the country. And the other is even just here in Texas. And I look at the Texas numbers.
So we got like 50,000 metal right there.
What I can read in the charts is that the population of 29 million people live in Texas. People under 30.
Let this magma out. What the fuck? So, made him do something.
Oh yeah, you did the poison gas thing.
Nope. Did it again. Guess he don't jump. Just gonna leave him right there. You abused him.
Yep, a bit. Slammed him up. Oh, this guy's cool. It's like charcoal, black, like gray, black, like this one should get a mix. What if this one mixes with that red one? Oh, it'll be very nice.
Yeah. What is this? A female?
Oh yeah.
No, it's a female.
Because then I want it to come out like this, but with a black belly, like, or vice versa. Red belly, black back.
Hey, look at this guy. He's green and red.
Hell yeah, I like this one too.
Of the overall test. And that's what I think we should look at a couple of charts here. First of all, I have the first chart. This is the New York Times.
I messaged Small Tribes. He says he has a 785 giga.
Coronavirus ticker on the very top. And this is they had an alarmist article about how
that number doesn't sound right though.
Don't sound right?
No. 20% increase in the last 14
Why you say that?
days.
Did he send you a screenshot of the stats?
No, he just put it on his announcement.
Oh, yeah. I don't trust it.
You don't trust it?
The number doesn't. Well, the last time the gigas went up, they went from what was it, 755 or 745 to 775.
Mm-hmm.
Like how much? It doesn't make sense for it to go that little. Up that little. Like the next 775 giga is gonna be like a 790, not a 780. That's why it makes no sense. Why they, I don't know. I don't get it. They must have a weird line or something. So pretty much, if you get that, like within a few days, like Arcmark or whoever has the lead giga is gonna get a better one. Because that one's just weird, man. The number. It might even be like a little imprint or I don't know. Something's wrong with it though.
Do we got enough to make a giga settle?
what about
Yeah, one of us gotta be a Bob though.
mental anxiety?
Like
and
you want to make a
suicides and things like
without
that. That's a form of prison.
with
You're
no
thinking, we're so much
crafting
nicer,
bonus. We can make
you know,
one,
than other countries when they had
but the crafting
concentration
bonus
camps,
is nice.
which on
I
the
can always
surface,
reset.
you know, look much more vicious, but the consequences are the same. I've talked to people who've had
We need
their parents or somebody in a nursing home. They
we need
ended up
metal
hardly
put
ever
into
seeing
the
them, couldn't go in the same
replicator
room,
for
and really
4,000.
making it just a
We have it.
horrible
It's just
place for them. So I think there's something to that, but
4,000
it's seen as
medals.
our concentration camps are humanitarian. You know, we're taking care of them and protecting them from getting an illness. But I think a lot of this is getting people to be conditioned. You know, conditioning them and on control. So we have the virus, and a lot of this was nonsense. I think it deflected from an honest discussion on how serious coronavirus is, and it is very serious, but they ought to have it in a proper perspective. But I keep seeing an analogy to the same type of scare tactics they used after 9/11. You know, it was permanent. You know, the changes were permanent. And they've told us that the changes are going to be permanent. They're going to get away with as much as they can. And that's why the number of people, the popular support, there's still a lot. They're saying,
I got 2,000
you guys don't
metal
care.
on me.
You guys don't care. And so they endorsed all this.
You got some inside too.
Go along. We know it's uncomfortable, but we have to go along. We have to do what they tell us to do. And,
I can always just make that purple one's nice too. Look, the purple one is.
You know, look how
Oh, the blue one is 63 armor. Nah, that one sucks. That yellow one's kind of
But I
nice.
had to deal with the TSA.
And it's half the
you know,
materials.
And they, you know, just even when we debated TSA, I said, there's a better way. There's a better way. Put the responsibility on the airlines. I said, it's their responsibility. But no.
We need hide and fiber. My crafter can't carry anything, so it's hard for me to transfer things over.
Alright, so what do you want me to do?
Hide and fiber.
That's gonna take all of our hide, right? 10,000.
Credibility.
No, we got 100,000.
Oh, that's 100,000?
They are
Oh.
the authority, and you have to listen to them.
I'm gonna get some
We'll have to compete and
metal.
challenge that with people.
God damn it.
Eventually you have to wake up numbers of people.
So then just hide fiber and then I'll make it, because I re-roll my character. I shouldn't have, because I forgot that now I can make cliff platforms because we can't transfer to the other servers.
I think that's helped motivate to go and have more openness. But I wish I could say, well, it's moving in the right direction, it'll be okay. But all of a sudden you see the headline, look, it's getting worse, it's not getting better. So we're the ones, they say, we're providing false information, we're unscientific, and they have the bully pulpit.
So we'll make that yellow one.
Unfortunately,
That one's good enough.
They do, and they scare a lot of people.
What the fuck is that?
Putting the masks back on and putting them on the being
Where'd you get that thing from?
What?
This like monster.
They both said this is not just
Oh, that's Rockwell. That's the guy you killed.
Oh, really?
Or your character, yeah.
This looks pretty badass.
It's an ugly ass dude. That's how you got those skins from killing that guy. The chili pepper skin.
Next clip, we're talking about hospitalization. This is the hospitalization rate in Texas. And look at it, it doesn't look like it's going up.
So we're good. Let me see what else we need.
You know, it looks like it's going down to me. Maybe I'm
So
not
we're
a
gonna
good
make the
scientist,
yellow one. Oh yeah, we need fiber and hide.
It's all about hospitalization rate. It seems like it's not there. Let's look at the next hospitalization rate that we have. Hospitalized by date of hospitalization. This is Arizona.
Yeah, crafters suck because they can only carry like 3 rows of shit.
But the trends for the past couple of weeks have been lower. So how do you square that circle? And what about percentage of positivity? Let's look at the next one. This is another thing they say. You have to look at that too. Well, here's Florida. Positive tests dropped 4%. So it is decreasing, and it did have a spike. So I don't want to try to pretend that it didn't, but it's now decreasing in Florida. But now let's look at just the daily deaths, because we looked at the U.S. Look at a couple of these charts. Daily deaths in Texas, yes. Mid-June, a couple of days ago, there was an increase in deaths. It doesn't look like it's completely anomalous because it dropped right off. There was a spike and it dropped right off. Let's look at the next one in Florida. Here's the Florida deaths. These are the hot spots. Same thing, going down. Decreasing. I think one of the days there was, I think on the 19th, there was 0 deaths. Let's look at the other thing though. They say, no, you can't just say it's testing alcohol. It's hospitalization. These parts you kind of tend to disagree with. It's percentage, you kind of disagree with. It's not testing, it's not testing.
Damn it, I made a Rex one by accident. It doesn't. He came out good though, 124, look.
It's the amount of testing. It's a massive, massive.
What can I see the gigas at?
67,273
Nice.
tests. That's a lot of
Yeah.
tests that they're doing. So it just doesn't seem like we're seeing the numbers.
I don't see the giga saddle in there. Did you take it out? No, right?
I did. My bad. Dumb.
You know, they are worried about it. Fauci's worried about
Oh, I did that. It's in there
They're
now.
always planning to
Oh, we need more hide.
lousy.
Because I used some for the miscellaneous Rex saddle I made.
Because he loves his side.
That's good though for boss fight. Boom, see? We got one.
And of course, we know that Gates loves it, and he wants to make it permanent and universal on everything that we do, and that it will be embedded into it, except he had his way. But de Blasio, had a test up in New York, and it's interesting. He's in New York
Almost
City,
there.
at the Department of Health, but
Just put a bunch in
the
there.
program was not done by the Department of Health. It might have had a little bit of knowledge about it, so he took it out of there. It was interesting to see how much it cost. It had to cost a couple bucks because he hired 3,000 people to start tracing, and they actually had to, I think, virtually stop it because it was a total failure. People didn't answer it.
Ah, that one came out bad. Let's make another one.
Or didn't get responses they liked.
Damn, another bad one.
They're annoying.
Horrible luck,
That's
man.
why they have to
What did it come out as?
It just got like very little bonus. One of them came out 95 armor. It's like very little, 18. The other one came out with 3 bonus, man. You know, look at that Rex saddle I made, came out with 50% bonus, you know? Like, that's what I'm looking for. Here, let's make some more.
You need more metal?
Yeah, more metal. I'll put in the hide.
They can't brag about it.
Well, they hired thousands.
We can always use those saddles for when, for our extra gigas. Damn. That sucks.
Stupid, they don't want to get in some database. So it looks more like a job program, like you said. They pulled it out of the health department and put it in who knows where. But before we saw on Zero Heads a reference to the New York Times article saying that New York City's contact